global rocket company founded by Richard Branson has set its eyes on a regional Australian town to house the next international spaceport.
Toowoomba's Wellcamp Airport will become a rocket launch site for Virgin Orbit's operations. And here to tell us all about it is Virgin Orbit's CEO Dan Hart, live from LA. Dan, thanks for joining us. This is exciting stuff. Tell us what you're planning.
Well, great to be here. You know, there's a transformation going on in space. Space used to be the bastion of a couple of national programs, and now is a commercial activity, a regional activity all over the world. We've developed a system that allows an airport to transform into a spaceport very easily by taking a slab of cement and putting a 747, a rocket, and some ground equipment. You see the footage there in front of you. We partnered with Wagner Group. We're targeting Toowoomba at Wellcamp Airport, and we're excited to bring launch to Australia.
Yeah, it's so exciting. When will the first rocket lift off?
Well, there's a fair amount of work to do, but, you know, frankly, it's in the cards. We could, in 18 months, we could be flying to space if everything works out well, or maybe even a little bit earlier.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty soon, actually. I wasn't expecting to do that soon. I guess the question remains then, what exactly are these rockets going to be used for?
Well, you know, there are different segments of satellites. There's a booming commercial satellite sector in Australia and in the region. There's civil space that's allowing us to understand our environment, allowing us to understand the solar system around us. And then there's national security, where, you know, if you look at Ukraine, for instance, and how important overhead imagery has been for us to understand ground truth of what's going on there. So all of those come together to form the importance of getting to space, of having access to space. And we happen to have a system that is portable and has flown now 4 times successfully and put 33 satellites into orbit. And we're ready to move forward.
Richard Branson, can we see him coming down here anytime soon?
Excuse me?
Richard Branson coming down here anytime soon, perhaps to open it.
Well, you know, I think Richard has lots of reasons to come to Australia, but you're going to have to talk to him. The Virgin's been so active in Australia for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And can I just ask as well, is there any strategic benefit to having this site in Toowoomba for you guys?
Well, you know, we have the ability to fly the rocket where it wants to go to. You know, where the rocket flight wants to start. And that's the benefit of having a 747 as your first stage. It's the most reusable first stage in the world. The area that we've chosen is one of the really ideal areas in Australia, and that we can fly to pretty much any orbit a customer wants to go to. So it is pretty ideal.
Mm.
Yeah.
Probably boost some jobs numbers there as well, potentially.
Absolutely.
You know, anytime a space capability pops up, there's an ecosystem that collects around it. Satellite servicing of the launch vehicle, telemetry, and all the other technologies. And so, you know, the hope is that it becomes a bit of a hub, an ecosystem for space technology. And then, you know, a place where, as I said before, commercial as well as government organizations can make use of it.
Yeah, why this renewed interest in commercial space exploration?
You know, space is going through a transformation. I mean, satellites that used to be the size of a small school bus, the work of those satellites is now being done by satellites the size of a microwave oven,
okay,
or a washing machine, or other appliances you'll have around the house. So the cost of satellites has gone down. The size of satellites have gone down, so therefore the cost of launch vehicles have gone down. And what that's done is it's lowered the bar so that businesses, countries, regions, purposes that never thought they would ever have access to space imagery or communication or science now have the ability to have it. And it's really amazing. I mean, there maybe used to be 6 or 8 major satellite companies around the world. There are now well over 100, and more popping up every month. And so it really is quite a renaissance going on in space.
Yeah. I love it. I love
tremendously.
space.
It's great to be in the middle of it.
It's the next frontier. It's also the next commercial frontier as well. Hey, Dan, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to liftoff.
Toowoomba. Look out.
A mere 18 months away.
Yeah. It's not long at all.
No.
Good stuff.
Now I wanna be your dog. Now I wanna be your dog. And now I wanna be your dog.
But when you have a look at their stock, this is recently. And you can see it's going down, down, down. And it's not the price is going down, it's the stock price going down for Mr. Virgin. But then again, he's not the major stockholder. Guess who is? Look at that. Vanguard. Look at that. Top institutional holders, Vanguard. And they purchased a heap more stock. And they bought another 0.5% on the 30th of December 22. Right before the end of the end of the calendar year. Look at that. Look at them all. So what do they know that we don't know? Look at all the different entities under the Vanguard platform. The Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund have this many shares. Then their Balanced Index Fund has this much. And the Institutional Index. It's just insane. And this is how they almost do like legal money laundering and Ponzi schemes. By one entity will have, the top Vanguard has over 2 million shares. The next one underneath, the Balanced Index Fund here, only has 71,000 shares. And if this company down here isn't making enough money, they can do a off-market transfer or off-market sale to each other. And it even says here, the top number of people, 68% of shares held by an insider. See that? By an insider. Who's the insider? Because we know, only 81 or 16% is held by the institutions. So who's the insider? Is that Mr. Who knows? Or is it Billy Gates? Who knows? We don't know who it is. But I'm pretty sure that Virgin... here we go. Yeah. April... Here we go. Having failed to raise additional funding from private investors, Virgin Orbit, that's who we were just looking at, has laid off the majority of its employees and filed for bankruptcy on April the 4th. So, Vanguard has lost the stock weren't very expensive, but they've lost a lot of money. Is this the whole reason that they're filing for bankruptcy, so that they've got all these other names that they're going to come up to? So Mr. Branson, he's not affected adversely. Who's the major stockholder? Who was it? And they had hopes, have dealt a blow to Japan's hopes of building a domestic airspace. Billionaire Richard Branson's Orbit files for bankruptcy. And this is just, within the last, month. But are they talking about this on the news? Probably not. The California-based company. So what's this got to do? They're California-based. The company here is in Australia, and the funder is an English guy. Too many pots that soil the broth, as they say. So he's going to be probably quite agitated over all of this. What he's going to do, because remember he had the grand delusional. And this is where they absolutely detest Elon Musk. Absolutely detest his success and his capability of actually attaining funding, get a product to market, and actually be quite liked by the general public. You think of, Mr. I'm not going to go on about Mr. Musk. I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. I like that he's taken Twitter over, and I think he's got a lot of fortitude. in doing that. And I think, and I hope that he might end up being a decent guy. But then again, he's a powerful man, and powerful men can go a bit crazy at times. You know, when you have power over other people and people worship you in a certain way, you know, and they never call you out on your wrongdoings. They never criticise you because they're scared they're going to lose their job and they're going to be, you know, out of financial pocket. So they're yes people, and you can become quite deluded and a bit, you know, up your own rear end, you know. So anyway, I'm rambling on. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah. So I just can't understand how this can all be happening. It's all insanity.